ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hate It or Love It. I am your host for today, Jeremiah the Revelist. Today I'm going to be reviewing my favorite superhero of all time, the man you see on my chest, the movies you see behind me, the Batman. So I'm reviewing the Batman, Robert Pattinson. He's your new Batman. At first, everybody was like, "Wait, you crazy? Why would you want to pick Robert Pattinson, Twilight Boy, to play Batman?" Well, it was either that or you have Armie Hammer. And you know what's going on with Armie Hammer and there's all his crazy scandals. So I'm actually glad we got Patterson. But I went into this movie like how Heath Ledger, when people pick Heath Ledger, when they pick Heath Ledger to play the Joker, everybody's like, who wants to watch Heath Ledger as the Joker? And look at this. It came out and Heath Ledger became the best Joker of all time. Now, I'm going into this, I said, hey, Pattinson's going to be playing Batman. Let's see how it is. You know, it may have that Heath Ledger moment. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something, it did. Because this movie was amazing. We finally got the Batman we deserve. I'm going to be completely honest, because throughout the different iterations of Batman, we've had, you know, we didn't have the full range. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, Batman is not just a billionaire. He's a master of all martial arts. He is super smart. He is also the world's greatest detective. Now, mind you, that word, greatest detective, in all of the Batman films, we only had glimpses of him being a detective. In this one, we finally got the detective Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie had everything forming into a Batman that, you know, this is what we deserved. I gotta say, like, Gotham itself, Gotham was probably the best version of Gotham we ever seen in any of the movies. I felt like I was in Gotham. Like, the grittiness, the darkness, you didn't feel like you were in another city. Like, you felt like you were actually there. And also, all the different characters in this movie. Like, you got Paul Dano as the Riddler. This dude was scary. He reminded me of the Zodiac Killer and Jigsaw from Saw. Like, his mind and the way he thinks, his puzzles and his riddles, like, they were so on point. Like, I literally, like, he's almost to par with how Heath Ledger's Joker was. It was so good. He did a great job as the Riddler. I mean, this is, like, the Riddler is probably one of my, like, is my second favorite villain in the Batman series. First is Joker, of course, because you see the Joker behind me. And then the second is Riddler. And he did a great job. He was very eerie. He was very, like, smart. He was like I said, him and Heath Ledger, like, if they would have teamed up, like, it would have been the end of the world, because them two would have straight up destroyed not just Gotham, but the world. Like, he did a great job. Edgar Wright as Commissioner Gordon, another, like, he did a great job as Commissioner Gordon. The chemistry between him and Robert Pattinson was phenomenal. I just love their chemistry together. Like, every time they're on the screen together, it, like, worked out so well. And I gotta give it to, like, Colin Farrell. I couldn't recognize him at all in this movie. Like, he did such a great job as the Penguin. And we got the perfect version of the Penguin in this. Because, you know, the Penguin's a gangster. He's gritty. He's a gangster. And, you know, his subtle movements, the way he talks, was just like, it's like I was playing the Arkham games. I'm sorry. This movie felt like I was playing the Arkham Asylum video games. Like, for real. The way it was, the grittiness, the darkness. This movie was dark. I'm surprised this movie wasn't rated R. Because when I watched this movie, I felt like I was watching a rated R film. Like, this did not feel like a PG-13 film. It was very dark. heavy. Like, the action sequences were great. And when the Batmobile itself, man, the Batmobile itself was like a character. It was like, and it was a regular car. It wasn't like the fancy cars that we got from the Tim Burton Batmans. It wasn't like the Tumbler that we got in Dark Knight. Like, it was a regular car, but it gave presence. Like, when it had that growl, it was like a monster. People would fear it. Like, it was like its own character. And I also got to say, like, they portray the Batman really well. I got to give it to Robert Pattinson. He played a great Batman. People are saying, oh, but he didn't do a great Bruce. He was like Batman even when he was Bruce. But you got to notice, this is just his second year as Batman. This guy is broken. You can see that he's very, very broken. And he hasn't got there yet to separate himself to being that playboy Bruce Wayne and to also to be that Batman. He hasn't separated himself yet. This is like his beginnings of the Batman. And I just like the fact that you see that, you know. And also Andy Serkis as Alfred. When they're together, it was great. He played a great Alfred. I wish there was more Alfred in this movie. It wasn't that much Alfred in this movie, but it's still, he brought that famous Alfredness. Like, you could tell that you don't want to mess with Alfred. You know what I'm saying? He was really good. The chemistry between them two was good. The whole mystery and the detectiveness. Oh, we finally got that detective noir type of thing. That was so good. Like, we haven't got like that in any of the Batman movies. Like, it was so good. Like, with the riddles and how he figured them out. Like, I just liked them. I just love the movie. You know what I'm saying? And Zoey Kravitz as Catwoman, she's the best Catwoman. She played the best Catwoman in this film. Like I said, the chemistry between Robert Pattinson and Catwoman were like flawless. It was just like how we would watch it in the animated series or in the comic books or like in the games. Like, they had that chemistry. They had that like love affair. Like, it was like really good. It wasn't like Dark Knight Rises. The Catwoman, I mean, Anne Hathaway, she did a great job as Catwoman. It's just, I felt like the chemistry between her and Christian Bale, it wasn't enough. Like, it was like too fast. Like, they didn't have that chemistry. They didn't have enough time to build that chemistry. In this movie, Pattinson and Zoe had that time to build that chemistry. So, like, the movie itself, like I said, was a great movie. You should check it out. If you're a Batman fan, you definitely should check it out. I mean, it was dark, it was cringy, but it was the Batman movie I've been waiting for. It wasn't this high, all this action packed. Nah, the action was great, but also the whole thing of the mystery, him trying to figure out what's the Riddler's plan. That's what made this movie good. Like, it was just good all around. I can't wait for the second film. Now, I gotta say, Pattinson, he's my third favorite Batman. He hasn't, he's not as good to me. The reason why I say he's my third favorite Batman is because I gotta wait for the second movie to really see where he's gonna be at my list. Because with Christian Bale, I used to think Michael Keaton was my favorite Batman. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to live action movies, Michael Keaton was my favorite Batman. And when Christian Bale came around, I liked him, of course. But when Dark Knight came out, that's when I was like, yeah, Christian Bale's my favorite Batman. So I'm going to wait till the second Batman movie and see how that goes. But for right now, Pattinson is like my third favorite Batman. He did a great job. Like I said, it was the Heath Ledger moment. Like, they did a great job picking him, and I really think he's gonna do great years on end. of being the Batman. Like, this movie was good. I can't wait for the Penguin show. I can't wait for that. It's gonna be looking gritty. I can't wait for the new DC lineup. If we're gonna start out like this, let's see what we got more coming. What do I rate this movie? Is it a love? Is it a hate? Or is it in between? I gotta say, what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give it a love. It was great. I love this film. This, the noir, the real Seven type of vibe, Zodiac type of vibe, type of movie, but with Batman. And I also gotta say, the one thing they portray really good in this movie is the fear. Like when the criminals would be out there and then the bat symbol would just pop out, they would look in the alley. And when they looked in the alley, they felt, is he there? It's like the boogeyman there, like, is he there? And they get really scared. You never see that in the other Batman films, but you see it in this. So I advise you to check it out. So like, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the Batman. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or was it in between? And guess what? I'll see you when I see you. Peace.